Nigeria threatens to restrict flight to reciprocate recent bans by UK, Canada. Good evening to you all. Warm welcome to ETV News. I'm Grum Tariku. Turkish President Erdogan denounced the injustice by the United Nations Security Council against Africa, which is not allowed a vote in the Council since its inception 7 decades ago. This remark was heard during the third Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit that took place in Istanbul under the theme Enhanced Partnership for Common Development and Prosperity. Daniel Kassaun tells us more.
Currently, Turkey has embassies in 43 of the 55 African states. So this is a depiction that its relationship with the continent is very strong. Maintaining the status quo, Turkey is aggressively engaged in strengthening its relations with countries of the continent in various fields. Addressing the gathering, Erdogan indicated the summit is a testament to the fact that Turkey is interested in Africa, and Turkey's interest in Africa is not a temporary interest, it is a maintained commitment. With regard to Africa's relation to the United Nations Security Council, he indicated Africa deserves rightful position at the Council.
1.3 billion people live in the continent of Africa, and this continent is not represented at the Security Council, and that is a flagrant injustice. No. Africa should rightfully be represented in the Security Council, and for that to happen, I believe that we need to join our forces. The status quo is good, is beneficial for some quarters, and they may not like what we are trying to achieve, but for the future of our sons and daughters, we have got to be engaged in this battle, in this struggle.
While State Minister Redwan Hussein, for his part, underscored the growing constructive engagement of Turkey in Africa since the inception of Turkey-Africa partnership based on mutual benefit, mutual trust and respect. He also appreciated the active role of Turkey in Africa's foreign direct investment, human resource development and infrastructure. Ethiopian Defense Minister Abraham Belay also held talks with Minister of National Defense Hulusi Akar on the sidelines of the third Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit. In the summit, Turkey has promised to send 15 million jabs to the COVID-19 to the African continent, where the status of vaccination is only 6%.
Ethiopian Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeqa Mekonnen announced that today Christmas will be observed in Lalibela town. Demeqa disclosed that after visiting Lalibela town and churches today. TPLF troops caused terrible suffering to the priests and monks serving the Lalibela churches. Eyewitnesses say the residents were also receiving atrocities from the brutal TPLF for about 5 months.
They may not necessarily have a lot of financial capital, but they have knowledge capital. Give them incentives.
They are playing an incredibly beautiful, strong, enthusiastic diplomatic role. They're fighting, and they are winning.
Has become not only the issue of Ethiopia, it has become the issue of Pan-Africanism.
You are watching ETV News. In a single day, the joint Ethiopian security forces broke a decisive foxhole, which has been a stronghold of TPLF. Unable to withstand the Ethiopian allied forces' attack, the terrorist TPLF left the area and disarrayed in a huge moral loss, members of the National Defense Forces told ETV. They also expressed determination to neutralize the terrorist TPLF swiftly. Goshum also has the details.
There is no stone that the terrorist TPLF left unturned to disintegrate Ethiopia. Here at the Gashena front near a town called Hamusit in Amhara state, TPLF excavated several fortresses of longer size, but it took the National Defense Force a daybreak TPLF's stronghold in the area and destroy its army.
As you can see, the long fortress was evacuated to the left and right. What makes this fortress different is that it has special direction where individuals meet secretly. They sleep here and fired guns. We broke this and destroyed them only within a day.
As the Ethiopian allied forces liberated many areas of strategic significance, the terrorist TPLF has suffered heavy human and material loss that it has now faced moral loss. Some of the fighters of the terrorist group managed to escape the heavy attacks by the Ethiopian forces, leaving its weapons and other logistics. Members of the National Defense Force expressed determination to neutralize the terrorist TPLF swiftly.
We are burning the terrorist group. We are moving forward to demolish the group once and for all. We will continue fighting until the terrorist TPLF eliminated. I want Ethiopia free from such evil group. We have seized various weapons and vehicles which have been used by the TPLF terrorist group. We have neutralized a large number of TPLF fighters, and we have also captured a large number of them. Our force is moving forward, not back. The terrorist group is battling with Ethiopia. We will not return unless we bury the enemy.
Residents of Hamusit town and its environs expressed their sufferings during the 5 months that TPLF controlled the area.
Many of our brothers and sisters were killed by the invaders. They were beating us every day. The gang raped our sisters and mothers. We have passed a miserable life over the last 5 months. But today, our area has been freed. I'm very grateful to our National Defense Force, the militia and the FANO.
The Ethiopian government has announced that it recaptured Woldeya town, which is of greater strategic advantage.
The Ethiopian and Eritrean communities, in collaboration with the Ethiopian Embassy in South Sudan, have organized #NoMore campaign in Juba on yesterday. The community representatives, in their statement, fiercely criticized the destructive agenda of some countries and their agencies in Ethiopia and the region by giving moral and in-kind support to the terrorist TPLF group. Their participants said they have confidence in the wisdom and capability of the Ethiopian and Eritrean leadership to handle problems and denounce any uninvited external attempt of guardianship. The demonstrators also criticized the deafening silence of the international media while urging them to wake up and see the brutal atrocities and catastrophes committed by the TPLF terrorist group. During the event, members of the Ethiopian community showed their determination to financially support the government's efforts, Ethiopian defense forces and innocent civilians who were displaced by the barbaric TPLF.
And completely diverted into Ethiopian attacking the terrorist group. But the actual truth is the terrorist group TPLF is actually attacking Ethiopia.
ያው የአሜሪካ መንግስት እንዴት አህያ ከሚገል ጋር ከብት ከሚገል ጋር ሽማግሌ የታመመ ሽማግሌ መድኃኒት የማያድነው ሽማግሌ ከሚገል ጋር የአሜሪካ መንግስት እንዴት ይህ ሊረዳ ሊደግፍ ይችላል ነው ምለው ነው
Ethiopians and friends of Ethiopia have always been baffled by the visible bias in Tigray-related stories published by some Western media outlets. These are among the news outlets that have the largest readership in the world. But sadly, prominent scholars have continued working against Ethiopia and being mouthpieces of the terrorist TPLF. Alex Diwal is considered one of the foremost experts on Sudan and the Horn of Africa. However, he has been one of the vocal sympathizers of the TPLF all through the 13-month-long war to the neglect of his professional ethics and integrity. Jerusalem Bitsa has the details.
1 year on after this needless war was inflicted against the people of Tigray, let us hope, let us pray for wisdom, compassion and justice.
Alex Diwal is Executive Director of the World Peace Foundation and a research professor at the Felcher School at Tufts University, and he is considered as one of the foremost experts on Sudan and the Horn of Africa, particularly in investigating humanitarian crisis and conflict. However, Diwal has for quite some time been showing his solidarity with the terrorist TPLF through denying atrocities of civilians, rape abuses of human rights, and many violences that has perpetrated by the TPLF. Even the UN and other human rights groups have clearly reported the rapes and murders committed by TPLF force, despite the pressure of the US Department of State to do otherwise. But Diwal decided to ignore all of them completely. Not only this, one of the TPLF sympathizers, Alex Diwal, had also information of the immense suffering Ethiopians endured during the 27 years of TPLF rule, but he opted silent. A glance at some of his remarks proves this. Diwal has been shamelessly expressing his condolences to TPLF and making it look like the Ethiopian government committed atrocities against innocent civilians in Tigray.
First of all, let me say something to the people of Tigray, which is my condolences to you all for everybody whom you have lost over the last year. And anyone who has a heart must recognize the unspeakable suffering that the people of Tigray have undergone. Many of you, of course, have perished. Most have survived, but with great grief, pain, and trauma. And it's a hurt and an injustice that is made worse by the silence and the indifference of many of those who are supposed to have responded in the international community.
He also reiterates his recommendation for the TPLF too.
To the leaders and members of the Tigray Defense Forces, you have won the respect of everybody. The doctrine of a just war has rarely had so clear an exemplar. Faced with the utmost cruelty and determination of your enemies, determined to crush your spirits and your bodies, you have resisted, and resisted honorably. To the TPLF, you led Tigray at the time when the calamity broke, and you followed the people out of that calamity. You must now be humble. You must be prepared, frankly, to admit your errors and to learn the necessary virtues of inclusion, of pluralism, and of democracy.
Diwal also condemned the UN not for sufferings of other Ethiopians, but only the TPLF due to the one-year-long war.
Shame on you. Shame. Shame for your silence. Shame for your failure to stand up for basic humanity and for all the principles for which the United Nations was founded. Shame on you for your failure to stop starvation. Shame on you for failing to call out those responsible for inflicting it on the innocent. And shame on you for your appeasement of the perpetrators of the grossest crimes against humanity, every crime prohibited under the solemn commitments of the United Nations.
Moreover, in an article he wrote recently on Haaretz, an Israeli newspaper, he expressed his detestation vividly for the Ethiopian people and government. Particularly in his article, he urged Israel to put pressure on the UAE to end its military cooperation with the Ethiopian government. Many times, the government of Ethiopia stated that TPLF doesn't represent the people of Tigray, but surprisingly, the wall has been working aggressively to create animosity between Tigrayans and other Ethiopians. That explains why many keep asking if the wall is a scholar or a hired gun of the TPLF.
Colorful Cape Town is one of the most multiracial cities in the world. The city sits on South Africa's Cape Peninsula, where the waters of the Atlantic and Indian Oceans converge, and spectacular mountains tumble towards the sea. For decades, Cape Town has been buffeted too by the crosswinds of social upheaval. But just like those early ships, Cape Town had endured some of history's most turbulent waters and set course to an optimistic future. Cape Town's central area is situated in the City Bowl. This amphitheater-shaped area begins at the edge of Table Bay and is backed by the iconic 2-mile-long plateau of Table Mountain. Post-apartheid South Africa is often called the Rainbow Nation, and like a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, diversity, transformation, and creativity shines out from the city's downtown streets, from its businesses, from its very walls. So come and savor the colors, hope, and freedom of Cape Town.
You are watching ETV News. The Omicron and related travel ban impacted Nigeria's aviation industry, which had already been struggling. The Nigerian government has threatened reciprocal actions. Johannes Fantown has more from CGTN.
Nigeria's aviation industry was already facing a difficult struggle recovering from the prolonged stoppage of aviation activities following the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic last year. When the flight restriction over the Omicron variant was suddenly imposed on the country, industry players say they didn't see the flight ban coming and that it has now compounded the situation.
We never expected that, because if you look at the global indices on how this COVID-19 is being tackled, Nigeria has done so wonderfully well. As a travel agent, we have sold tickets to those destinations because people are already willing to travel. They have been indoors, they have been in Nigeria for so long, and recently we started seeing change. We started seeing people coming to us to purchase their ticket. A lot of people.
Even though the United Kingdom has now rescinded its flight ban, that of Canada and Saudi Arabia are still in place. Canada is a popular destination for Nigerians seeking to study abroad, while Saudi Arabia is popular for Nigerians Muslim pilgrims. With the flight ban of both countries still in place, the number of travelers from Nigeria has significantly gone down.
We have students that are supposed to resume this coming January, about how many days to go. And with the travel ban from the other 3 countries, they couldn't go. And apart from that, a lot of people wish to celebrate the Christmas outside in some of these countries. They have made preparation, they have booked their hotel, they have made payment, they have bought their ticket. But now with Nigeria on the red list, it means they cannot go to these places. And that seriously had a negative effect on our businesses because some of us couldn't pay our office rent. Some of us, we have issue with our clients when it comes to refunds of tickets.
The Nigerian government says it is hoping to resolve the issue diplomatically, but it has also warned that it could be compelled to take a reciprocal action by banning flights from the countries involved. Some experts thought that may not be the right move.
My personal calculation is that we will lose a lot because most of the earnings we get in aviation is from the foreign airline. Except they want to tell us they are not making money. And that's why I said that for the past 20 years now, we have to find out how much money we are making out of the commercial agreement. By my calculation, it cannot be less than $40 million in a year.
The government is still pursuing the diplomatic option to resolve the standoff. It has not said how far talks have gone and if there is any resolution inside that. As long as the travel ban remains, the aviation industry will continue to bear the brunt.
The leaders of Turkey and African countries agreed to heighten their partnership and cooperation in a wide range of areas, including the establishment of peace and security, as well as improvement of infrastructure investments in Africa. Speaking at a press conference after the summit, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said Turkey supports the efforts to develop intra-African trade and will continue to encourage its companies to do business with the continent to get localized. He noted that Turkey is also ready to offer support to African states in their fight against terrorism, organized crime, and strengthen cooperation in poverty eradication in the continent. Addressing the summit, Flex Tshisekedi, chairman of the African Union and president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, said Africa needs concrete projects mainly in trade, infrastructure, agriculture development, governance, and health. In some parts of Africa, unfortunately, there is instability and insecurity due to terrorist activities. Therefore, it is a must to ensure peace and security to move forward. He noted, the third Turkey-African Partnership Summit in Istanbul concluded with the adoption of an action plan for the next 5 years. Now, a reminder of the headlines. Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Dammaqe Mokonnin says Christmas will be observed in Lalibela town. Thus, and have a pleasant night.